What's going on, everyone? This is Mitch with SC Weather. Hope you're having a great start to your Sunday morning. And we're here to talk about this major winter storm that's about to slam several states, a very large area, and it's going to hit areas that just aren't used to seeing this kind of winter weather. Extreme cold is going to follow. There's going to be pretty much extreme cold in a lot of areas, even when the winter weather's falling. So this is a lot to talk about. We're going to break down what the National Weather Service, the experts are saying for their specific region. We're going to break down some of the overnight and morning models. We're going to go over what we can expect as far as snowfall totals for each area, ice, sleet, and just break it all down for you guys. I'm really interested if there's any people from Texas, Louisiana, new viewers, Alabama, Tennessee, Arkansas. Please drop in the comments what y'all see. I'm very interested to see how this storm is going to unfold. And also, guys, if you have not subscribed, currently I'm around 78% of people who watch my videos who have not subscribed. Consider subscribing. It's a great way to support me. I do daily video updates for the Eastern U.S. And I just love sharing a passion of mine with you guys. And y'all are like a mini family of mine. So thank y'all. I love talking weather with you all. And definitely consider subscribing. So let's start getting deep into this. There's a lot to talk about, and we're going to break it all down here. Also, I just want to say thanks. I hit 3,000 subscribers overnight, so thank y'all. And thank y'all for the encouraging words. I mentioned yesterday in one of my videos that I plan on getting my setup much better than it is now, and I do. I know I'm not up there with some of them other top dogs as far as their setups and things like that, but I plan on increasing my setup and making it more appealing to the audience. So thank y'all for the encouraging words yesterday in the comments. It's much appreciated. So let's break it down. So this is basically the winter weather severity index here. This is kind of something newish that the National Weather Service has been doing. Notice Dallas, you're in a major impact, and it's probably major because it's in the city. You're in the oranges out here when you're out in the middle of nowhere because there's not a lot going on. There's not a lot of big cities out in the middle of Texas or smaller towns, but more where there's more urban areas where there's cities, there's towns, there's major roads and interstates. You're obviously going to have the major impacts. And here's the breakdown here. All this is available on good old Google on the internet here. Extreme impacts right down here. I've been mentioning south of Dallas, southeast of Dallas is an area to watch because what's going on is you got low pressure kicking off here. There's ample amount of cold air up here to really feed into this moisture. And basically, you got the heavier precipitation more south of Dallas. So there's going to be a mixture of everything right here, and it's eventually going to go to all snow, and it's just going to be nasty weather. But it goes all the way up here through Tennessee. Nasty setup for a dangerous storm with dangerous cold air to follow. This isn't going to snow. It's not going to be your classic snow in the south and then it's going to turn around and melt. No, it's going to stay on the ground for days, and especially because there's going to be another winter storm that's going to follow after this one, which we're going to talk about. That storm actually might deliver more snow for Dallas than this one. This is going to be a colder storm for Dallas, but that one might deliver more snow. So check it out here. Looks like all the ambient weather stations will not load here for me. It does this sometimes, but you can check out what the Arctic boundary is. It's stalled out here. It's stuck right here. It's going through Alabama, up through Tennessee, and it hasn't even quite made it to basically the Tri-City areas, the Tri-County areas of northeast Tennessee. It looks like it's not going to make it, but it's right on Birmingham. The front is just really close, and actually the Birmingham area has a winter storm watch, so you guys might get into the action as far as frozen precipitation. But once the entire state, except for far southeastern areas of Mississippi, is below freezing, and not just below freezing, but you're deep in the teens, especially in northern areas of Mississippi. Memphis, you're going to get slammed. It's basically a tone setter. You have wintry weather already breaking out over Dallas, some snow and sleet off the first kind of short wave that's moving through, but that's not the main system. The main system's going to kick through this afternoon. You're below freezing all the way into the Lake Charles area, the same area that got slammed by the hurricanes. It's the tone setter. These temperatures, the ground's frozen. It's been cold in these areas for several days, and basically you already got snow falling in Arkansas. It looks like the North Pole up there with the way it's just light snow falling, and the ground is so cold. It's like the snow is just falling, and it's just kind of flying everywhere. It's not really a wet, heavy snowfall that's just coming down and accumulating. It just looks cold. out there from what some of these videos I'm seeing on Twitter. So it's crazy. You got snow falling in the single digits in areas of Arkansas. So check it out. This is the latest HRRR model, and we're going to run through this real quick because we're going to show other models too. But this basically shows this afternoon the snow getting into the Dallas. You're going to start off as sleet and freezing rain, probably in areas between Dallas and Houston. The more north you get, the more there's cold layers of all layers of the atmosphere. There's plenty cold at the surface everywhere, just about where the storm is going to hit as far as frozen precipitation. But as the storm gets through, the low pressure cranks up right here. You can see it, and you're going to get a band of heavy snow. College Station area, just north of Houston. You got frozen precipitation all the way to the Gulf of Mexico. You have a little bit of freezing rain falling even close to Brownsville, Texas. You're going to get a band of snow that forms, and it's going to just pivot through here and slam. You're going to probably start off briefly as maybe some sleet, freezing rain in Memphis, but quickly goes to heavy snow. There's going to be some kind of heavy band here. I'm watching this area right into here where I'm circling, Mississippi, Tennessee. There's going to be some kind of heavy band of snow or sleet that really forms here. And check out the low pressure rolling, and it's on out of here. So we're going to break down. Look at here. The National Weather Service, the watches and warnings. Guys, the entire state of Texas is under a winter storm warning just about. So impressive event. Say 90% of Louisiana is under winter storm warnings. So we're going to break down each county. So we're going to start off by the National Weather Service here in San Angelo. I'm not sure how you pronounce this area, so if you're viewing and you're this area, I do apologize. Hopefully I said it right, but potential snowfall amounts, several inches of snow. This is a major impact for you guys, potential blizzard conditions. And I just remembered I do not have the wind speeds pulled up, but it's just going to be some isolated blizzard conditions where you're going to get wind speeds 10 to 20, upwards to 30 miles per hour, and it's just going to be mixed in with the snow, even all the way up into Dallas, and we're going to talk about that a little bit here. Up the Tulsa, snowing in the single digits, several inches of snow expected, 6 to 8 inches. It hasn't really budged here. You get into Norman, you basically have a jackpot area, let's see, over the Oklahoma City area, 8 to 10 inches of powder. When I say powder, I mean dry snow. There's nothing going to be wet about the snow. You're not going to have snow falling in the 30s. It's snow falling in basically the single digits. It's just crazy. My mind's blowing at how this is going to unfold here. Dallas is kind of the same boat. You have, yes, it's dropped snowfall totals for Dallas. And south of town, where the heavier precipitation is going to be, chances of more snow. North of town, you have a kind of a band that's going to set up as basically the transition between the energy of the low pressure and the northern stream energy is going to combine. The northern stream energy is going to dump some more snow just north of Dallas. And Dallas, you're kind of in between. But let me tell you guys, there's a second storm coming for you. And this actually could dump more snow than this one. It's going to be a little bit warmer of a storm, still well below freezing, but it could dump more. All the way down to National Weather Service here in Brownsville. You guys are under a winter storm warning, and it doesn't take much down here. Only ice accumulations of less than 1/10 of an inch. I know you're thinking that's not a lot, but could that combine with how cold it is? You're going to have periods of sleet and freezing rain. It doesn't take much because it's freezing cold down here also. So we jump to National Weather Service in Corpus Christi. Corpus Christi, yeah. So I guess you're Corpus Christi now, but Corpus Christi. So you have snowfall totals up to an inch, a tenth to a I can't get over actually that. A tenth to a 20th of an inch, and once you start getting to that quarter inch of ice, you're basically going to get close to ice storm criteria. But that mixed with a little bit of sleet, a little bit of snow, it's going to be a mess down here. You're not used to it this deep far south. So we're going to jump up here to the National Weather Service in Austin and San Antonio. Big, impactful snowfall event. I know that don't seem like a lot, but that mixed with a little bit of ice, already freezing temperatures. You already probably still have ice on the limbs and everything on the roadways from having periods of freezing drizzle in this area. If you're going to get slammed again, this is just going to add insult to misery. Houston, this is a talked about area because you're not calling for 1 to 2 inches of snow after you get a period of sleet and freezing rain that moves through. I really think y'all are going to get winter precipitation all the way into the Gulf Coast. It's a very impressive event, but the more far north you get of Houston, you get heavy precipitation in this area. You don't have to worry about that. But the more north you get, it's going to be a band of heavy snow. Somewhere here is going to get 6 to 8 inches of snow, I really think, north of Houston, where the heavier precipitation is going to set up. Little Rock, basically, y'all have cut snowfall totals, and I've noticed it in the models. Yeah, the snowfall totals went down, but you get into the southeast part of the state, more snow. Y'all are plenty cold enough for snow, obviously, but y'all are basically going to get robbed kind of where the northern stream energy, the southern stream area energy, which is the low pressure, it's just kind of going to be transitioning. So not a ton of snow, nothing crazy for this area, especially for the Little Rock in between area. But watch out, there's another storm, like I said, coming. And this isn't it for you guys. You got dangerous cold where snow is falling, and you get into the Shreveport area. Forecast ice has actually dropped a little bit, but snowfall has actually went up, 4 to 6 inches of snow and sleet. This is another area I'm watching that could really overperform. Right in here, where the heavier precipitation is going to be, and there's enough cold air, somewhere in this area is going to overperform. You already got hit early in January. You are getting hit again, and then probably going to get hit again later. So, each National Weather Service does something a little different. Sometimes they have a little scale, limited, elevated, significant, extreme. Jackson, especially north of Jackson, this is going to be a nasty icing event for you guys. Potentially big-time ice storm mixed in with several inches of snow and sleet, especially between Jackson and Memphis. This is going to be really, I know you only see around 1 inch of snow for Jackson, but look at the ice accumulations. That's a 40th of an inch. That is well above ice storm criteria. That mixed with a couple inches of snow. For instance, Yazoo City, a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch of ice, mixed with 2 to 4 inches of snow. Let me tell you, we kind of have, when we do have our winter storms here in the Columbia area, the Midlands of South Carolina, normally it's kind of like that. We get a couple inches of snow, and then we get ice, sleet, and that combination mixed with temperatures that are going to be in this area in the teens, man, I'm telling you, this is going to be an area that is going to be very, very dangerous. And, temperatures, here it is, they're in the extreme category in Jackson. And obviously you see other areas too. Very big time area to watch here. We're getting here in time. Lake Charles, winter storm watch still, but now you're under warning. My bad, sorry. This is they have a little bit delayed information. 1/10 to a 30th of an inch of snow, of ice mixed in with a little bit of snow, a little bit of sleet. Just unheard of for this area. It's pretty rare. So we get to the National Weather Service here in New Orleans and Baton Rouge. New Orleans, I think y'all are going to miss out. I think y'all might get a little bit of sleet, maybe a little back-end snow, but I think most of the action's obviously going to be north of town. And the ice is close to New Orleans. It's going to be hard to get freezing rain in New Orleans. It happens. It definitely does sometimes. But north of town, well north of town, ice storm criteria, storm, a big-time event here. We get into Jackson, Mississippi. I do not know why this got pulled up again. I did not mean to pull that up again. So this is what I'm talking about. The Memphis area. This is an area that I think y'all are going to get absolutely slammed because you're going to get hit by this storm and then the one a little bit later in the week. Memphis, I would love to have more followers in this area, and especially the northern Mississippi area. I'm really interested to see what unfolds here. I'm really thinking 4 to 8 inches, a little bit of sleet. Y'all already are froze up here, absolutely been frozen here for several days, and y'all are going to get hit again later this week. This is an area that is going to get crippled, I'm telling you. They're going to get hit really bad. A little bit south of Memphis, more sleet and freezing rain mixed in, but really hard hit area. We get into Nashville. Nashville, maybe several days ago, maybe you guys weren't expecting so much winter weather, but now 3 to 5 inches of snow in Nashville. You look at around the whole entire area, the ice mixed in with that, 1/10 to a 1/4 inch, slammed. You're well below freezing. You don't have to worry about it getting, well, you have to worry about the fact that it's not getting above freezing. This is just, it's a dangerous situation. I can't stress it enough, the how cold it's going to be at this winter weather that's going to be falling in this far south. It's not like you're dealing with marginal temps. You're dealing with temperatures that are well cold enough for winter weather. It's the fact that it's just so cold. Now, areas in northern Alabama, Florence, Huntsville, things like that, you guys were looking more just a straight ice storm, but you have trended colder, especially the more west you get into this area. 1 to 3 inches of sleet and snow with a good bit of ice, maybe a 1/4 inch to a 1/40th of an inch of ice. Dangerous situation. You get into, let's see what this area is. I kind of click through this super fast. Look, National Weather Service in Birmingham. You're actually under a winter storm watch now. I don't think you guys were expecting that. The cold air has just ticked a little bit further east. And we've talked about where I showed you where the Arctic boundary was setting up. If it ticks a little bit more east, a little bit more west, that means that is significant adjustments to the Birmingham metro area forecast. But right now you're in an elevated area. I think right now you could just expect a little bit of sleet, a little bit of ice, and maybe a quick burst of snow at the back end of this. But we're watching this area because this is definitely an area to watch. You get into the Mobile area. Nothing in the Mobile area. There's a light glaze and there's a little bit of ice in the northern areas, but nothing too crazy. So we'll sit here and we'll look at the GFS. We're going to run through the storm. This is the latest GFS. Here you go. And this is what I'm talking about. Dallas, yes, you're going to get all snow, but it's not a high-end precipitation event. You'll probably get a 1/4 inch to a 1/40th to a 1/2 inch of actual precipitation, but it's all going to fall in snow, and snowfall ratios are going to be insane. And snowfall ratios is basically how much snow you can get to an inch of liquid equivalent precipitation. So it's going to be snowing in the low teens to possibly single digits in Dallas. So basically, you could get a light snow you could get maybe a light to moderate snow for several hours and end up with 3 or 4 inches of snow because everything's sticking. You're not having issues with melting. But what happens here is this thing cranks up, the low pressure gets going right here, and this is the area right here where you have to watch out for a heavy band of snow and sleet. And there's going to be a first little wave right here for Dallas, Tennessee, Mississippi. It's going to develop, but here comes the main storm here, and look how east it has winter precipitation into Alabama. So you have, come on baby, you're good, come on, and you have ice here and sleet and a winter storm. Almost the entire state of Mississippi is under some kind of freezing rain, sleet. Several inches of sleet is bad. It doesn't stick to the trees, no. But the roads, sleet is horrible. It's much more slick. It takes longer to melt if it ever does, if we can ever get out the ice age in this area. But here comes, I think, there's a potential that the heavier snow band could actually set up maybe a little south of Memphis. But who knows? This is going to be an event that's going to be unfolding, and it gets going here. And check out this other storm that forms right here. This could potentially slam Dallas and to Memphis again, and that moves through. We look at the European model, the 06Z, so this is the latest one. Look at this storm, and this is the brief band right here, and we're talking about getting later this afternoon, this evening, in Dallas, there's going to be a band of heavy snow that really cranks up, and this is when the winds could really start howling. We could get maybe an hour or two of blizzard-like conditions. So this is something we need to watch out for Dallas, because please do not travel in this area. This is going to be, you don't get blizzards this deep in the south. The panhandle of Texas, sure. But here it goes. The low pressure kicks in, and that is a monster area of heavy snow and sleet that's going to develop here. And it shows snow going almost all the way into the Gulf of Mexico here in the really far southeastern areas of Texas here. And then it gets going. It gets cranking up. And I'm telling you, northeast Alabama needs to watch out for northwest Alabama needs to watch out for a major winter storm. And then you get to the end of the run, and then another storm starts cranking up. This looks much colder than the GFS, so it's a little bit, that's going to be a storm we're going to have to talk about. But here you go. This accounts for sleet, snow, freezing rain, all of it. So it kind of shows you where the heavier band's going to set up. No, I do not think 9 inches of sleet and snow is going to fall this deep into Louisiana. So it's a little misleading, but it just kind of shows you where the winter weather is going to fall. You look at the, this is a 10-to-1 ratio. I want y'all to keep in mind of that. This is a 10-to-1 ratio. This is not a 20-to-1 ratio. So I think some snow could be heavier in areas, but it's showing 8 inches in Memphis, around 3 to 4 in Dallas, But check out the area, the stripe of heavier snow just south of Dallas that we need to watch out for. And I know I haven't talked much about the storm with the Ohio Valley and the Northeast, but I've really talked mainly about the Mid-South and western areas of the South and Texas. But I feel like that's more warranted to talk about because these areas are not used to seeing winter weather like areas in the Ohio Valley and Mid-Atlantic. So forgive me, you guys that are falling from that area. This is just a storm that really deserves to get talked about big time for this area because they're not used to it. But it shows a half an inch of ice, and this is the National Weather Service prediction of ice. So this is the legit one. This isn't just some model. Half an inch of ice just northwest of New Orleans. So, and look at this big time ice. And where you're seeing this ice, it's not just ice. There's a little bit of snow, maybe a lot of sleet mixed in here. It's not just straight ice storm. When you mix a little bit of other winter weather with the ice, man, I'm telling you, it is nasty. That's the kind of storms we get in South Carolina when we do get winter weather. So I know all about that. But it shows ice all the way into the Gulf of Mexico. It's ridiculous, crazy stuff. We were just getting hurricanes in this area several months ago. So, big time storm. I know that's a lot. That's a big mouthful of stuff to talk about, but this is a big time storm. So thank y'all for tuning in. Y'all have a great rest of your day and stay safe because this storm's about to start cranking up.